Welcome back to Hypixel Skyblock Ironman mode. I spent the entire night's fiesta mining each pure ore for minion upgrade resources, netting mining 27 in the process. Among these ores was also iron, coal, emerald, diamond, and lapis, which I spent a particularly long time on so I could craft the experience artifact, an epic talisman. I poured the remaining resources into upgrades for each minion. Of course, I still need to grind supercompactors, enchanted lava buckets, and diamond spreading for each of them, but we'll get to that later on. Bigger things at hand currently. I started forging 2 refined titanium, which I'll be saving for the R336 recipe. I did participate in another fiesta, reaching mining 28, but my time with it was cut pretty short. I ended up with 8 enchanted redstone blocks in not that long a time though. A Mithril Gourmand event yielded me my 3rd dwarven treasure, which I immediately applied. I've been a little lazy with commissions, so I decided to slam down enough of them to reach Heart of the Mountain tier 4 before I move on to something else. Quick break for a Mithril Gourmand event, which got me 65,000 Mithril powder and my 4th dwarven treasure. It ended up being the XP from a goblin raid that got me to Heart of the Mountain tier 4. Got 34,000 Mithril powder too. I unlocked the mole perk and the professional perk, then did a bit more mining. Honestly, it wasn't too many commissions. I've got hundreds more to do, but my focus is currently on making the commissions easier. I applied the final dwarven treasure to my mithril equipment, meaning I was now getting a total of 60% extra powder from events. Immediately after, I claimed my 2 refined titanium and set up another in the forge. The only resource I still need for the R226 is 10 treasureite, which drops from treasure hoarders, but to kill them most effectively, I need to get all 8 ender equipment to make the void sword stronger, as its stats increase with each piece. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and that is all the armor pieces. I look pretty damn good. There's the 2nd equipment piece, 3rd equipment piece, and 4th equipment piece. Now I can start the slow journey to get 10 treasureite. Let me tell you something, I seriously regret not going for the booster cookie and god potion for the extra magic find before I started this. Ah man, it won't take that long. Wrong, this sucked. Each one of these drops you're seeing probably took about, on average, 150 treasure hoarders. I did some mining events in between as a break because killing over 1,000 treasure hoarders in 4 hits each might legally be considered a form of torture. But I got it done with absolutely no trouble at all. I can now finally forge the drill motor. I only have to wait 30 hours now. I love the Clash of Clans forge system so much. In the meantime, I set up some refined mithril in the forge as I needed for the Asset's R326 recipe. I've long been ignoring everything except mining, and unfortunately that has to change. The next step is unlocking Galatea, not to forage just yet, but for the hunting equipment. If you aren't familiar with hunting, here's how it goes. The majority of mobs in the game have attribute shards, which drop from hunting them using a black hole, lasso, fishing net, etc. When consumed, they grant unique permanent buffs. They can alternatively be fused together to create new shards that grant different, usually more advanced buffs. Alrighty, there we go. There's a lot of annoying park tutorials that I'm just gonna skip over. Now, here in Galatea, I have got more tutorials to go through. Running through Hunter Bros questline, I can claim my Hunt Ats, Pocket Black Hole, Fishing Net, Lasso, and David's Cloak, which will eventually be a very powerful piece of equipment. My target is getting Troglodyte shards, as its attribute grants up to 10% extra Heart of the Mountain XP from commissions. To make them, I'll need to fuse shards from the combat category with the Cave Dweller family, which is easiest to do with the Lapis Zombie shards and Miner Zombie shards. It's a pretty tedious process to catch as many shards as I'll need, but for the stat boost this will grant, well worth the relatively short amount of time invested. I ended up with over 170 of each, which was actually more than I needed. I fused most of them together and siphoned all the Troglodyte shards, maxing out the attribute. As an added bonus, hunting that many combat enemies brought me to Combat Hunting Milestone 25, which meant my David's Cloak now granted plus 33 strength. With 40 more Heart of the Mountain XP per commission, I accordingly did a lot of them. There's a lot more where that came from, but I'm not combing through every last commission in like 2 hours of footage just to make a montage 5 seconds longer. I maxed my silverfish pet again, so I upgraded it to epic, and then to legendary, which upgraded the mining wisdom perk and added a plus 150 mining speed perk. I claimed the refined mithril from the forge and got straight back to completing commissions, reaching mining level 30 in the process. It wasn't much longer than half an hour till I had hit commission milestone 3, which unlocked a third commission slot and gave me 400,000 mining XP. Half my lifespan later, I claimed my drill motor, allowing me to forge the drill I've been building up to for 1.5 episodes. And I have to wait another 4 hours because this game was made by Supercell, apparently. I passed the time by completing a goblin raid, mining enough diamonds to forge a refined diamond, and mining the redstone needed to upgrade my personal compactor from the 4,000 to the 5,000. I also wanted a light break from mining, so I decided to get some foundational work done in the garden. Nothing crazy, just clearing up a plot, increasing my garden level, reaching farming 19, setting up the composter, and crafting farm armor. The real dive into farming will happen in a later episode. The wait is over. I officially have an assets R22 I looted the rest of my forge and set up more refined mithril for my Fiesta stockpile, along with a second refined diamond. My next priority is to get the coins for a booster cookie. Frankly, I should have done this sooner, both for its stat buffs and the ability to gain bits, which will allow me to buy a god potion. I opted to mine diamonds for money, partly because I knew farming would be worse currently, and partly because I wanted to test a new drill. I hit mining 31 along the way and spent the next hour gathering 3 million coins worth of enchanted diamond blocks. A diamond goblin also spawned and dropped a pure mithril gem, which I can use later on to upgrade a legendary mithril golem pet to mythic. Quick break for a mithril gorman event before going right back to diamond mining for another hour, eventually netting me the final 2 mil I needed to buy my first booster cookie. I didn't want to go back to commissions until I had the bits for a god potion, so instead I decided to hunt star sentries, as their attribute gives up to 10% extra mithril powder from all sources. This was extremely annoying, because star sentries are fast and powerful, so I had to be cautious lest I die stupidly. Like that. I want to wipe these mobs off the face of the planet. I was so happy to never have to do that ever again. I'm really happy to have this too. I was getting real sick of running around at 180 speed. Now my focus can shift toward obtaining the SSR32 which requires a mithril plate and a golden plate. These aren't that complicated to forge. I already have the mithril, titanium, and diamonds I need. It's essentially just the gold, iron, and glaciite jewels. I opted to venture into the crystal hollows since mining gold is far easier in the mines of Devon. It really didn't take long in this Scrooge McDuck-sized pool of gold, and neither did getting the 10 glaciite jewels. Funny what happens when your magic find triples. I got my 1 enchanted iron block, and that's it. But my forge was full, so I did some commission mining for an hour or so. Also, I could not find the footage for the life of me, but I put the flow state ultimate enchant on my drill, which grants up to plus 600 bonus mining speed depending on how many consecutive blocks you've broken. Now, I could empty my forge out and start the 2 golden plates, which would not be done till midnight. Cool. I also dipped into my stock of Starfall back from the treasureite hoarder grind to forge a petrified Starfall, an excellent reforged stone for my drill. With my mining as speedy as ever, I knocked out commission after commission, mining 33, after commission, you get the point, right? I got to Heart of the Mountain Tier 5, unlocking the core of the mountain and a few tokens that I temporarily used on Quick Forge to speed up what was currently active and permanently used on an Ore Fortune perk. I've been neglecting my minions a bit lately, so I mined up enough cobble to make a couple super compactors for my chicken minion and lapis minion. And, staying along a similar string, I went back to the Crystal Hollows to mine up enough hardstone for Flamebreaker armor, as it gives 40 more mining fortune than glaciite. Much cleaner looking than glaciite ever was. I claimed my golden plates and my petrified starfall, which I immediately applied to my drill, and then I set up the mithril plate. Fast forward 24 or so hours and I claimed said plate along with a titanium talisman. I was finally free, for now, of forging materials, and I can claim my R32 sits, which will be my mining tool for quite a while. That's all for today's episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time for the road to Heart of the Mountain sits and a titanium drill.